Anyone who just came in, welcome. There's a shit ton of raffle stuff over there. We're fundraising for printing books in the next few months. And for now, I'd like to introduce one of our editorial staff, our curator and administrator. This is Maya Ben, everybody.
Hey y'all. Hey. Thanks for being here. I am super excited to introduce our first poet, who is a friend and a colleague, and one of my creative inspirations, Kwon. I have a lot to say about this, so just hold on tight. I have the pleasure of working alongside Christine in the Tilted House editorial team. And I know that I'm in the right meeting when I walk up on Christine, sitting at Flora's in her very large, glamorous sunglasses, a cigarette in her hand, drinking iced tea. And I'll give her a hug, and usually without a smile, she'll say something like, "You're so cute, it's disgusting." In her poetry and personality, Christine carries a bluntness that lands not like a boulder or a wound, but like a blanket around our matters of the heart and the rehearsed rhythms of humanity. Her words linger long after she leaves the room. It's pretty often that I'll be sitting with Cameron and he'll laugh suddenly out of nowhere, and when I say, "What's funny?" he's like, "Just this amazing thing Christine said today." I trust her poems because I've been where they take me. They detail a life immersed in the castle of language, all musings, mistakes, and lunch dates, like poetic acts. Her words are a series of strange truths woven together that leave traces of resonance in your body for days to come. Where there are women, there is a baby hiding somewhere. We ate each other up in a race to exist. How at night the moon acts like a crazy girl, slapping my face left and right. Reading her work is like watching a film where each moment of mundanity is amplified by a voiceover that's there to power wash the bullshit off of every moment. Woo! Like staring at one painting for many hours on LSD. You thought you knew what you were looking at, but every passing moment proves you wrong. Often when I read a lot of one person's work, I feel myself begin to walk through the world in their voice. Walking in Christine's voice is at once drab and psychedelic, playful and gut-wrenching. It's a world where my dog calls me mommy, my houseplants think I might want them dead, and where kitchen flies remind me I am spiritual. She has a knack for capturing our most intimate and complicated moments in their plain and simple. I am a mommy in the mirror, and I have the blues. At the house party, what I say and who I am surprises me. I wonder if I would have married a white person if I was choosing now. Kwon is a Korean-American poet and fiction writer. Her debut poetry collection, A Ribbon, the Most Perfect Blue, won the Cowles Poetry Book Prize and is forthcoming from Southeast Missouri State University Press in spring of 2023. She lives in a yellow shotgun house in New Orleans with her partner and their 3 cats, Trotsky, Lady, and Twombly. Woo! She is a literary editor at Tilted House Press. Her work has appeared or is imminent in The Recluse, Hot Pink Mag, The Yale Review, Joyland Magazine, The Columbia Review, Recliner Mag, The Harvard Advocate, among other places. We are so lucky to have her with us tonight, Kwon.
Hello, I'm Christine. I was really nervous, but now I'm not because half the audience is my friends. But they've never heard, some of them have never heard me read before, so this is exciting. All right. Okay. Girls on bikes. The girls I know talk to me about their bicycle being stolen, not being able to bike to meet me somewhere, the difficulties of biking, the men that holler at them as they're biking, the bush they biked into, but they do not tell me about their baby. The girls on their bikes are beautiful. Not that there is no baby. The girls I know are women. And where there are women, there is a baby hiding somewhere. Glancing at my friend as she leans over her notebook, I see the mommy and turn away embarrassed. I woke up from a nap once crying, "Mommy, Mommy." My husband was there and he thought it was cute, but he was not my mommy. The linoleum floor that must be ripped up is Mommy. The whitish spots on the bathroom mirror are freckles on her face. Sometimes my mommy turns black, but she cannot be amputated. I'm a mommy in the mirror and I have the blues. I woke up with blues fluttering. Yesterday and the day before yesterday was another yesterday that rode past like a baby on a bike waving hello. There never having been a baby is a baby crying in its cradle in the corner of the room. Do we not have babies because we have bikes? There just seems to be this weird breed of beautiful women biking, their baskets filled with flowers and books. Sipping iced coffees like furious bees, we talk about nothing except whether or not to bike. Okay. So that one was from my book, which is coming out in April. I'm gonna read one more from my book and then I'm gonna switch to all new poems. Okay. And thank you so much to Chuck and Cafe Istanbul for having us tonight. And thank you, Maya, for an amazing intro. Did I say that already? No. Okay. All the Witches. 1. My friends paint and sew. They're actors and opera singers. Blonde and soft-spoken Robert, who clutched Emily Dickinson in a lavender bathrobe in the emergency room and orders at restaurants in French and Italian, and has read the Aeneid in Latin, is now a lawyer at the oldest firm in the world. He tried at the other thing. I can make the light put on dancing shoes. Beneath a sheen palm, I sit on the steps writing poems on my phone in a bikini top and boxers. I might only be in evening dress, but I am trying at the other thing too. 2. A white flag waves hello from my heart like a toothpick in an office meeting sandwich. Precious friends, I'd like to tell them God loves artists. They still burn at the stake, smile and leap like a flame. Give your heart on a platter, plated with lettuce and mustard. Okay. Friends, start cheering for me like you're at a dive bar in New Jersey or I'm gonna be mad at you later. Okay. Also, we need to make money. Buy some raffle tickets. There's like amazing artwork in there. Okay. This one's called How's Your Head? It's a new poem. It's coming out in Copper Nickel in a year from now. They took like 3 of my Catullus poems. They're like hype songs. I wanted to write poems that feel good for anyone to read them out loud. Okay, and this has language from like a running joke from RuPaul. Okay, how's your head? My Catullus hungry, he order lunch. He keep that nose big, I feel it when he munch. My Catullus still in college, dazzled in the sterling stacks, still in that luxury state of mind, writing on Alexander Pope. My Catullus still in college, a Catullus here and a Catullus there. Hat and coat in a train, in the hall, in the club, in the taxi, in the rain. My Catullus is a 10 in the face, a 10 in the body, says you want to come in? I can bring all my Catullus to the yard. I can erect the dead. My Catullus so hard, no words urgent enough. My Catullus is bigger than yours, because you don't have one. Part of my Catullus is touching France. The other hand, your underpants. You can read it, but I'll have to charge. You can ship it, though it's extra large. Import taxes, heavy-duty tape, stack a shipyard. My Catullus sing till his face round and blue, until he rosy pink as the moon. All of us Catulluses climb into bed till the earth grows flowers from our head. Our head is good. How's yours? Is it on tight? Is it blown? The cat's meow? Is it slicing bread? Is it hot as hell? Or is it already dead? Tell me, how's your head? Is it growing inch by inch? Mine's still drinking milk, lapping at a dish. I can't sit no more in my head. Gonna find myself one more wife. Someone to pick up, someone to clean up. But tell me, is one wheel still spinning? Is that your real face? Or are you just a clown? And is one Catullus all you own? Woo! Okay, I'm moving. I am probably only reading like 4 more poems. They're all written this November. This one has lines from Ecclesiastes in it. It's called Fate with Love. I look at what I wrote yesterday, and God, I must have been having a mental breakdown. After the parade, my friends and I waited for our dinner on the restaurant balcony. The street wet except for paper bits, petals on a black wet as we're pounding shit. Today, the reddest pear was like holding November. Amethyst was said to be the color of Dionysus's tears. What can I say, but youth was the color of your lips. A beautiful girl in Rome is fucking somebody, and a tall, mysterious man in Tokyo is getting out of a taxi with someone else. It's raining, and they're still deciding. Rain tapping the glass, hair wet, skin wet, trapped in the loveliness of night. Rain is the color of night. Don't be jealous. I am faint with love. My bed is the color of longing. All night long on my bed I looked for you. I looked for you, but did not find you. If you see him, will you tell him, I am faint with love, that I turned the sheets and found anemones frozen in the snow. This is a scary crowd. All right, between Saturn and Siberia Bar. I was listening to another poet describe diaspora and ancestors and where she comes from, but it didn't interest me. We're all from somewhere. Outside the bar in the cold, I thought I might leave and enter another word, pressing hard against the glass. I thought, I like the tang of autumn. It reminds me of death. Watching the branches gnarl their fists and the girl's eyes hiss up rack and wind, turn plague purple and brown. Love all of it. I like emptying out, listening and not listening to this girl talk about her imported memories. I thought, I remember nothing at all, have nowhere to return to, but God, I love the fall. Okay, Justin, this one's for you. Like a species, I was born of necessity. Driving in the West Bank, I saw a flamingo where there were supposed to be no flamingos. I couldn't tell anyone. For the flamingo was real, though lost, and I couldn't bear for people to rip me apart. Like mail, people shred dreams, and this was a gray flamingo. Later that night, I imagined its large plumed body in the sky emerging from the veil of clouds, maybe all the way from Florida. Might as well have been a broomed witch. A stranger approached me on the street. Aren't you poet so-and-so? Startled in my gray sweats and stained shirt, never having been one in the wild, I shook hands and smiled and flew straight home, wondering why I felt hurt, and still all bird, quite unaware, broke off the wooden arrows from the chest, unable to interpret how to become a man. I got 2 poems left. Easy like a Sunday. You're asleep in the bath. The cats are asleep, all three. Trotsky on the bed, a lady on the rocking chair, Twombly in the crease of the sofa. I'm somewhere else. It's cozy there, too, though I'm dead. I can still listen to you snore, my ears turning tender so you don't drown. The body is a glove. Yours is wet, ringlets on your chest, rumbling with breath. Mine's unoccupied. The middle finger, the ring finger, the forefinger, they all enter me slowly. I'm levitating. Like a sister, like a priest, I feel God moving his hand wildly in my mouth and writing this poem so easy, regurgitating heavenly golden bile. Last poem. The Work of the Dead. We named Twombly after the chalkboard paintings, the gray, white, and black puffing out his little chest, so much that we thought this was no black cat, but smoke. And he has no interest in the sky, the grass, the big mulberry tree. He rarely even looks out the window, so much that I worry about his idea of the world. Like my poet friends who have no money and don't leave their rooms, their cities, their minds, and keep churning out poems. I wonder if a translucent lizard wandered into their lives, would they pounce and play until it's only papery shell? I moved my books off the floor and found so many blue lizard shells I considered stringing them, framing them, but caught myself. Once you were at work and I went to the river. I lay down and drank the black water. Once you were at work and I was too, doing the work of the dead. And in the night, rolling like a widow, not knowing what to grieve, I worked. I knew a little into the woods is a perfect black mirror. When you were at work, I was looking into it, dead things writhing beneath the rich black mud. I slept, the feelings silk. I worked and worked and worked until the dead things purred. Kwon, thank you for asking. Justin, bring me my sparkly hand. Someone bring me my sparkle handbag. Oh my God, add me on the School of Longing. And that's how you're gonna buy my book when it's available for pre-order very soon. Okay. And I'm still here because I have to introduce a very special poet. Okay. All right. Justin Jannise's poems have big dick energy. They don't need to be all about ego because they're funny, witty, charming, and their dicks are so big. His poems, first and foremost, are intensely likable, which we shouldn't forget about in poetry. But Justin is also a cunning priestess. When I first encountered her poetry, I couldn't get past the effortless formal control. The only other poet who has such a touch with sound is Sylvia Plath. If you haven't heard her read, look it up on YouTube. The words are like marbles rolling in her mouth. You can almost feel them. And in this way, Justin, he, she, they, can play tricks on you. Sonically, she's one step ahead. Wordplay, Justin's been playing with you all along. She's put a spell on you. Dr. Justin Jannise, now a salaried professor at Prairie View A&M, grew up in a small town outside Houston called Liberty. When I visited him there, his mother opened a closet. It was just a closet full of Justin's trophies. It was like she opened the door to her heart. In this way, Justin's poems are clear. They have the clarity of a poet who realizes simple is best. Simple takes the most craft, the most craftiness, because there's nowhere to hide, and you have to show that you understand everything that has come before. You have to read, bitch. It's when you reach a truth simply that you come close to originality in poetry. Their first book, How to Be Better by Being Worse, won the A. Poulin Jr. Poetry Prize and was published by BOA, which is a big deal. You can buy one over there. There's limited copies, so run. Okay. Their writing has appeared in Best New Poets, Best of the Net, Copper Nickel, New Ohio Review, Pleiades, the Yale Review, and on and on. Justin was also the editor-in-chief of Gulf Coast Magazine for 2 years. But I'm not here to list his slaves because we'd be here all night. So Justin, come up and hit us with the bangers. As Doja would say, slap me, choke me, bite me, kill me.
Thank you, Christine. Is it too late to just give up now? That was a lot to live up to. Can we hear it again for Christine? I've been watching this microphone do this thing. It starts here and then gradually does that. So I'm gonna get ahead of that big dick energy, I guess you could say. Will not stay upright. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me in the back? Y'all don't know me, but as Christine mentioned, I'm here from Houston. I drove in the other night for Christine's birthday, and it's really an honor to be here. You know Houston, where Lizzo, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, the Astros are from. And if you've ever been on I guess you would call it a dating app. Gay people call it an app, just a hookup app. You may have gotten this question a few times, so I got tired of answering the question, overthinking the answer to the question, so I wrote a poem about it. It's called What I'm Into, and this is a poem from the book. What I'm into. Adam's apples, beards, brains, a certain type of man you see on trains between Connecticut and New York. Solid muscle, starched white shirt. Dilfs, doctors, dimples. Every man I've seen offer his arm to someone crossing the street. Fags. Great time to call. Fags. Those who've reclaimed the word with piercings, tattoos, unruly curls sprouting from their heads, pits, chests, thighs, ghosts of long-dead poets, the sad eyes of young Robert Frost, Hayden, Lowell, appearing now beneath the charcoal brow of the barista. Men who make coffee, hummus, bread, the weight of a body on the edge of the bed. Megawatt smiles, gold-spinning hips, intellectuals, lifeguards, motorcyclists with ripped jeans, flabby abs, a bone to pick with a capitalist regime. No mansplainers, no racists, nobody already romantically attached, anyone listening who thinks there's a chance.
Woo! I'm slayed.
Some of our, the things that sort of identify us to other people, in other words, if it's Christmas or your birthday and you're into pugs, everybody gets you pug shit, an apron with a pug on it or something like that. And mine is flamingos, but I didn't choose it. It chose me. And so I was reluctant for a long time to write about why. Kind of started with a backpack, but I did eventually write about it, and for fun, I put it in the shape of a flamingo. So I'm going to read that one. It's called Flamingo Sexual, which in a way, it was me sort of defining my own sexuality because I couldn't really find or identity, I couldn't really find a label that I liked. But also I liked it because if you take out the O, it says flaming homosexual. You know, or it's like a portmanteau. Suddenly aware of 2 pink bruises blooming on both knees, I vaguely recall the way I threw myself into bed, back of the hand angled at my temple, a countess's swoon. I arise to find my neck's out of whack, too many pillows, but I'm freshly in love again with the world that made me, part candy, part fowl, 2/3 feathered boa. I am not your lawn ornament. I am the whole lawn or nothing, St. Augustine with patches of fine fescue. I have shrimp for breakfast, shrimp for lunch. I skip dinner to write letters with feathers dipped in the rosy blood of my enemies, those who told me nobody was ready for a breed like mine. I'm still standing and will until I can't. I like to think we all carry within us enough fuel for one last blaze of renunciation. I come from a family of, as Cher said, gypsies, criminals, and thieves. I forget what else Cher said, but you know, that's my family. Where even though I live in Texas, just on the west side of the Louisiana border, a lot of my family comes from here. And so we steal. Or you could say we, you know, kind of steal. Or I'm the only one who doesn't get caught, except that I write poems about it. So there's got to be like what do they call it? Statute of limitations. I hope this doesn't sort of like get me in trouble, but it's called Leather Jacket. Copper brown and suede, with a fleece lining and western collar. It's so heavy, my mother says, picking it up at the shoulders and giving it a weak shake that releases a speck of lint. Heavy is her word for expensive, and she seems proud and comforted that I walk around feeling warm and important. How much? My father speaks up. My father, who every winter of his life has worked outside in a Carhartt knockoff. He examines the label, hand-sewn in golden thread, and the sturdy buttons, of which only one is missing. He wants to hear me admit how I overpaid, the folly of it. So I tell them the story. Vintage thrift store, mid-July. I take 2 jackets to the dressing room, similar in style, but one is clearly made of heavier substance. And noticing a $30 difference, I switch the price tags. The girl at the counter actually says, "What a steal." Now, if you're expecting my parents to groan with disapproval or to make some appeal to the 8th commandment, then I should tell you that all their lives they've been robbed.
Banger!
If you're a poet, you need to get a Christine. I tell people this all the time. They have no idea what I'm talking about. But so many of these poems are, I've shared with her in my first reader. And what I mean by a Christine, it's somebody who is loyal to you, but honest, who loves you enough to tell you the truth, but doesn't sort of placate you, and sort of just tell you what you want to hear. It's totally invaluable. And so I'm moving on to some poems from my next manuscript. Do we have any twins in the audience? Anybody a twin? You want to out yourself as a twin? You're a twin. Is your twin here? You're alone. Okay. All right. Are you identical?
No.
Okay, all right, good. Well, I'm not that interested, no. I just became fascinated by twins. Either you are or you aren't. And if you are one, you'll be one for the rest of your life. And if you're not a twin, I love saying this, and I can't really see you, but saying this kind of thing to twins, they just sort of roll their eyes. But and as you would too if you were a twin, because it's something you're used to. But if you're not a twin, it's something you can't change. Anyway, so my next poem is called Twin Envy, and it's sort of also the title of the whole new collection. I'm jealous of my twin, the phrase, not the person. I do not have a twin, as far as I'm aware, but Emily does. And when she drops my twin into brunch, as casually as she'll slip her Amex out of a leather billfold, I am filled with twin envy. I want help from someone, more or less just like me, to take care of my parents and ratify my worst decisions. I want to say it and have it be true. This is my twin. Why does being one sound so much less than being half of two? Humankind needs larger birds. Humankind needs larger birds. Red-tailed hawks scaled up to pterodactyl proportions, 12-story great white egrets, spear-sharp bills puncturing our roofs like giant stilettos, a helicopter hummingbird or two, always hovering, thirsty for us to make just one wrong move. We need more natural predators to humble us into greater regret, more meaningful action. We share too little of the terrestrial burden that camels, mules, and antelope bear. Let the crow outgrow our bomber planes. Let the great horned owl outsmart us. And let them be as we are. Locked doors unto themselves, their hearts grand ballrooms of sinew and mystery, their brains locomotive engines of synapse and being their own worst enemy. I settled on twin envy as sort of a kind of overarching theme of the next book because it allowed me to do or sort of play with something that I do believe, which is that everything has what's called a close enemy. Maybe not a twin, but the close enemy of generosity is sluttiness. And the close enemy of love is attachment. So it's not the opposite, but you sort of torque it in the other direction, the evil direction. And so my book is sort of arranged that way. So you just heard this poem about these birds that if they existed would sort of make us more moral, maybe because we would have something to sort of check our designs on the world. And so this is the close enemy of that. It's called flocking. And I was shocked. You can do kind of like an aerial bird's view of human behavior and learn a lot of things, and some have done it. And one of the things they've learned is this, that let's say there's a kind of a scary event and we all have to kind of get out of here really fast. I hope it doesn't happen. I'm like, how much wood can I knock on that is not about to happen? But it can happen anywhere. And what you see is that it takes a minority of just 5% to influence a crowd's direction. The other 95% follow without realizing it. We're sort of wired that way to be followers, and very few of us actually have the sort of capacity to kind of like lead. So this is called flocking. You'll never see him again, is what the thick column of bats tells me, mocking the angle of his jaw and mimicking the smirk of his raised brow, before scattering in the way his affection turns so quickly into scorn. flocking bats. They're as mean as I have been, dropping each kind word he spoke to me into the mold of malice and placing it in the cold oven of what I do not deserve. Though smart, I have behaved like a fool. Though charitable, I keep track of each donation, which reminds me of each desirable thing it cost. When I am fair, I want triumph. When I am patient, I moan and fidget. When I am thin, a fat man's heart beats between my swollen ribs with greed and spite. Don't you tell me this is how we all are, that when the moon moves in front of the sun, we all relish the eclipse on our lips and flock to the lawn, that when the gun goes off at the game, we all run in the same direction. There's one thing I know, it's how to hide behind my own uniqueness. Friend, don't envy me. When you said you saw a crow hopping down the stairs, flight by flight, how you waited behind it and wished you could tell it, silly bird, don't you know you can fly? I held the thought in high regard because it registered as nothing but foreign. I would have kicked the dumb thing away. I've lost all senses, like that's how long I've been up here. So I think what I'll do is I'll read a Thanksgiving holiday poem and then one more from the book and, hopefully get out of here before you really start to hate me. So speaking of things I didn't choose, I've somehow been nominated or I've reluctantly had to accept my role for family dinners. I make deviled eggs. Do we have any deviled egg lovers in here? So I can't give you deviled eggs, but I'll give you a deviled egg poem. It's basically the same thing, right? Okay, this is called Unrequited. Other names for deviled eggs: infernal spawn, satanic roe, the seed of Lucifer, demonic ova, Beelzebub's embryonic chicks. On holidays, I boil, knock, peel, and split a couple dozen, extract each golden core, and whip with mustard, onion, dill, and certain touches, the filling for the empty, smooth as porcelain whites. Refilling, really. That's the sin. Crushing a heart just to put it back in. I have little notes here, but they all say maybe. A little game I played with myself. Maybe. Okay, I will end with this one. I never read this one, but I've been to New Orleans many times, and y'all are a poetry city, if for no other reason that the names of your streets are just sort of like waiting for somebody to, do something with. Maybe you're over it. Maybe everybody does that. But anybody here live on Piety Street? Oh, did you? Okay. So this is the only poem in the book that I don't have my poems really, I'm not capable, I don't think, of writing a whole book about one place, like some people are, but sometimes individual poems have settings. So this one's set here, and this is, God, a tough crowd. I don't know why I make, that's probably why I put maybe, so you're gonna hate this. But at least you know that it took place here, thank you. All right. On Piety Street, the people are all pierced and tattooed, spilling out of the Irish pub with green mohawks and glittery kilts, weeks before St. Patrick's, or is it days after? The blackouts blending into hangovers and back, tropical, seasonless weather, perennial palms. The town tells time by parades, by floods of outsiders pouring in to sop their biscuits in a runny bon ton yolk. Laissez, roulé, the whole nine, yielding to cloud nine, a feeling that too much may yet be enough. Best another spin on the roulette wheel, another dip into the pool where no one says no. Oh, what all anybody talks about is how, as little as 5 years ago, things were just wilder, filled with more smoke. A troop of lost boys patrolled the streets, raccoon tails tucked between their legs. The river coughed a body a week. No one felt safe. So good. Now only the young can afford to ignore culture's expanding blandness, its milquetoast roux. Gutter punks may ravish politicians' signs, but every would-be mayor watches mustachioed and devil-horned from the corner of St. Claude. Smiles like blink-eyed sorority girls who carry each other home. Thank you so much. Thank you to Christine for all the fine journal. Thank you.
One more time for Justin, everybody. All right, hello. Welcome back, and welcome to all the new people. If you are new, we're raising funds to do some publishing next year, 5 really great books. So if you have the time and the funds, please buy a raffle ticket, or 2, or a whole arm's length, which is quite a lot, and you could win some pretty dope shit. All right. Also, I wanted to say, listening to reading can like bring you in this way. So if y'all want to stretch, take this moment to stretch and just like reset yourself for our last reader. Also, I wanted to thank Chuck, as always, Chuck Perkins over there who runs Cafe Istanbul, always doing good work for the community. All right, to introduce our next reader. I played drums until about 21 years old. At 16, my teacher, Danny Boozer, introduced me to the concept of ghost notes. If you don't know, these are soft, subtle, sometimes syncopated notes that are not necessarily heard in the music, but felt in the body. They are specifically de-emphasized, played on the kick or snare drums between what a drummer might call the main notes. These ghost notes add momentum and tension to music, almost like a whisper at a party. These notes in music are akin to how in moments of excitement or stress our hearts drum faster. Arousal or agitation is felt in the body even though external forces, or the main music, is at the forefront of the feeling. The heart adds a subcurrent of motivation which is felt and may even manipulate us somatically, but it's barely heard. Ghost notes in writing are comparable to this. I've had the chance of sharing space and watching our next reader write and rework his poems on paper. I've watched Tay add, move, and subtract words of various importance and size with great care in order to generate a particular feeling or subcurrent of cadence, down to the note, and so precisely. And these subtleties may bypass the reader's conscious eye, but their placement, like narrowly alternating heights of stairs, is felt in the subconscious. It changes the way you walk along it. These movements exist on the page, yes, but it's when Tay performs that these notes grasp the hands of their counterparts and haunt us as a whole. It is my honor to introduce Tay Smith, a Nigerian-American writer and performer living in New Orleans who teaches history, music performance, and creative writing. I'm happy to call him my friend and feel so loved each time he asks how my heart today is doing. Please join me in welcoming Tay V. Smith to the stage.
Mama, the preacher, and the ushers say I'm unholy. A word, the worst word you can hear in church. A word used to describe anything God can't clean. My unholiness is bottled up like a sharp gift cut open or a faucet trickling tainted desires desire. A word used to explain hauntings that God gives humankind. Then with the fear of the Holy Ghost threatens eternal punishment for those lovely longings. I'll tell you how it feels to be lost in longing, to be a broken boy, how it feels when God splits a child in half. Charles, why are you like this? Mama asks, her open hands welded into the top of her waist. I swallow, I sigh hard, it ain't easy, I ain't the easiest kid to raise. I want to be easy, or better, or more like the kids who never get their Sunday clip-on ties crinkled or their handcuffs dirty, like the kids who don't spell righteousness on their preliminaries test righteousness, a word synonymous with implausible. It's implausible to believe that my name doesn't mean bitter like dirt in the back of Mama's throat. I'm Chuck. She only calls me Charles when Chuck has done something that makes her remind me to be more Charles than Chuck, to not throw things carelessly like my words, my actions. Mama's friends say I just can't get right. The word right, the way they spray it at me, is used to paint all the pictures of all the things that are supposed to make me holy and acceptable, like pretending the Sunday school lessons about talking bushes ain't sexy magic, or that the church mother who calls the assistant pastor an old funky motherfucker under her breath is a representation of heaven. I don't know what I'm like. I don't know what I am, so I don't know how to respond to Mama. Why every time I take my eyes off you, you do something foolish, she asks. Why are you such a heavy thing on my heart, she paces. I can tell this conversation will end with her asking me questions, me giving answers that don't add up, that will equal her beating my damn ass. It's never just ass, always my damned ass. Me, my ass, and damnation all linked together. Seems like Mama has only got two ways of being these days. She's either mad at me, which means storming around the house in silence, raining down just enough care to avoid neglect, or asking Jesus for mercy for being so angry over bills, her job, or me. It's just me and Mama. They never met my daddy in person. Only seen a picture of the two of them holding hands in front of an old Buick. Older versions of my face divided. Daddy looks to be about 2 feet taller than Mama. Cocoa dark and dressed, as clean as the devil himself. God ain't never been as cool as my parents in Focus. I always imagined the Lord in overalls. Fat from all the blessings he's withheld, standing on the corner of East St. Louis and Charlie Park screaming lame condemnations. My daddy stands more on top of the photo than a part of it. Leaning between Mama and the driver's door, his shoulders stretched wide enough to set the horizon, draped in a black leather jacket with fur around the collar, wearing dark jeans and a pair of black and white Chuck Taylors, with Mama nestled under his arm, smiling from ear to ear, evidence that she was happy once. Mama's the oldest of 5 children. Auntie Nessa, the youngest of Mama's siblings, came knocking 3 times last summer. The first time, she was running from her boyfriend and needed a place to stay for a day that turned into a week. Auntie Nessa only referred to him as broke-ass nigga on account of them getting evicted from an apartment Mama said they couldn't afford anyway. The second time, her and this my baby, formerly known as broke-ass nigga, came over to visit on the 4th of July for 5 days. They ate all the ribs, all the potato salad, all the hamburgers. They even ate the hot dogs, and everybody knows the hot dogs are for the kids. But on the last visit, Auntie Nessa came alone. I was at the kitchen table reading when she pushed the back door open and exploded into the house. Give me a hug, Chuck. I jumped up and tackled her by the waist and stayed there pretending to wiggle from her kisses. Auntie Nessa smelled like sweet and fun perfume and cigarettes. She even let me sip some Crown Royal once when Mama asked her to babysit. Nessa sat down at the table and after about 5 minutes of talking to Mama, asked for money for her and her broke nigga sweetheart. Mama said no. Now, Auntie Nessa, who either didn't see or didn't care about the pain growing on Mama's face, started throwing out names of cities and countries and inviting her to guess where my daddy might be. Chicago, Auntie Nessa said, in a way that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere. Nessa, Mama responded, trying to act unbothered. Tokyo, Auntie Nessa said mid-chuckle. Hell, nigga might be in Narnia. God damn it, Nessa. Mama finally yelled, then excused herself upstairs. She returned about 5 minutes later with a relaxed face and handed her sister a small roll of money. Auntie Nessa thanked Mama with a half smile, flashed me a whole one, and left. Without saying a word, Mama went back upstairs, slammed her bedroom door shut, and played gospel music loud enough for Jesus to hear. My first ass beating of the summer happened on a Sunday. I felt good that morning, good enough to dance from the kitchen into the living room. My bolies soggy, cornflakes overflowed. I circled Mama's golden lion, wrist and body twirling through the air with more flair and hip than what is deemed suitable for boys. The golden lion of Judah was Mama's representation of the Lord's protection. The day she bought the gold paint, Mama soaked the porcelain statue and placed it on stretches of newspaper. As the sun dried and perfected each coat of her offering, the Mississippi Mass Choir belted from our speakers, and she sang loudly, I wish we could have existed in those melodies forever. Mama slid back and forth as if she was waltzing with Christ himself. I smiled large enough to breathe, large enough to know that at that moment Mama was too. I joined her in praise. Been running for Jesus a long time, she sang. With a jubilant response, I shouted back, and I'm not tired yet. 3 months after, the best day we'd ever heard, in the middle of a graceful pirouette, my knee slipped and the lion crashed to the floor. The heir of Judah went sliding across the living room floor. Mama came running, belt in hand and every bit of tired. My second ass beating happened after our neighbor, Mrs. Ukwu, who moved to East St. Louis from Nigeria, caught me jumping double dutch with her daughters in the backyard. Mrs. Ukwu stood on the porch, sucked her teeth, and shook her head and waited. She called for Mama when she got home from work that night. I pressed my ear against the thin wall. Mrs. Ukwu's concerns sounded like a direct insult against Mama's parenting, which meant that I was a direct insult against her parenting. I stayed in the house for the next 3 days until the welch from the thick belt Mama nicknamed Miles Davis, on account of her beating me black and blue, had subsided. I am sure my third ass beating will happen today. We were forced to leave church early because of something I showed in public, in a space too sacred for self-worship. Mama is still cooking up or calming her anger, and I'm still sitting on the couch with a belly full of rocks, simmering on her question, why am I like this? Now, I should probably tell you why we had to leave church early today. And answer. I finally hugged Alex. It happened after we'd circled the sanctuary, after the women closed their eyes tight and dropped their best into the collection plate, and after the men growled as they let go of the minimum required cover charge for a portion of God's love. I purposely accidentally ran into Alex near the last row. He came in for a shug. Now, a shug, a half hug, half handshake, with two hands gripping a fist, sandwiched between two men or boys, while the other hand reaches around the back for a tap, hug on the shoulder. It's important to know that there is a 2-tap limit on a shug before it gets weird. I reach around Alex, 3, 4 taps, then slid my hand out of his, past his chest, through our bodies, and wrapped both arms around his waist, full, body to body, fingers to spine, warmth against warmth, so close I could hear him swallow. 2 ushers rushed over and separated me from my discovery of Lord and lust. Now, I don't know how long we stood like that, but one usher pushed my forehead off of Alex like there was glue between us. They rushed us into the vestibule. One usher, who had to be at least 100 years old, slapped my arm. The other pointed her chipped nail polish back and forth between us and hissed something about sin and slippery slopes. A hug is worship, I said, as Alex's face relaxed into a soft giggle. They were not amused. The ancient usher waved our mothers down from the front. Mama left her notepad on her chair to the side of the small podium where she was preparing to preach about the fruit of the Spirit. When Mama arrived, the ushers explained with great exaggeration what had happened. Listening to their reply of things, you would have thought I'd cannonballed off the pulpit, chased Alex down, and squeezed his holy ass. Now, I don't know how much of their story Mama believed, but I do know the horror painted on the face of Alex's mama, and the disgust written on Mama's face spelled my doom. Mama dropped her shoulders and apologized to Alex's mom. Mama's eyes were simmering coals as she grabs my hand, twists my arm, and hauls me out the side door, across the parking lot and into the car. Her daily warning, don't do nothing to embarrass me when we leave this house, replayed in my head. My private defects had drifted into our public life, making it hard for Mama to swallow that her son might just be the worst kind of fruit, a rotted seed. I have to block out the drumming of her feet, pounding into the floor. If I don't, I can't tell you how Alex catches me looking at him as much as I catch him looking at me every Sunday. That Alex is 3 years older than me. That his lips, soft and pink, bounce open at the end of every amen like a warm revelation. That he's been blessed with a light mustache, or that his dress shirts grip his chest as if he buttons them with his heart. I'm doing the best I can, Lord, Mama says in soft defeat. Tears slide down her face. I'm not gonna beat you, she says, sitting beside me, rubbing circles in my back. Mama's trembling voice shares the story of an uncle who was left out of our family mythology, a record of rewards and warnings, passed between mouths, stories of runaway slaves, gun-wielding moonshine, selling women, and survivors of the 1917 massacre, an uncle who ran from the church, a man who chose a life without the word, another sassy boy who made his mother's womb unworthy. This uncle, my uncle, was killed by a jealous lover years before I was born. I've never seen Mama cry this hard and scary, like she might melt right in front of me. I bite into my bottom lip and take a deep breath to hold back the questions swimming in my head. Why didn't she tell me about him sooner? Is he the reason she is always so angry with me? Is she afraid that things I love will murder me? Has she already added my name to our family shame? I'm angry most of all at myself for bringing Mama to tears. Perhaps her telling me this is a sign. Perhaps this is God parting my clouded thoughts and warning me that a flirting son can burn a life away. What kind of son would I be if I allowed the world inside of me to make Mama this dangerously sad? She's trembling. Is she scared of losing me like she lost her brother? I cry with her and apologize. Burying my face into her lap, Mama lifts me up and grabs me by the face. Jesus gonna fix it, baby. Mama has two sets of tears. One boils from the inside, erupts in anger and melts all the joy out of her. The other, painting her face now, are long, single streams that lightens the heart and lifts heavy burdens. I'm grateful for the relief in Mama's breath, but I ain't no less confused. This feels like a second chance. A new start at what? I don't know. I cry for myself, but I smile for her, and I'll keep smiling. My lips will stretch open, my life will stretch and open to prove to her that I can be a normal boy, a righteous son. I'll drop my shoulders and my shadows. I'll open my Bible and turn every battered page that holds forgiveness. I'll hide behind durable scriptures, and if these steps don't work, I'll drown whatever is inside of me in the same waters used to baptize. Perhaps there was a haunting left for me by an uncle who couldn't be caught by his Holy Ghost. Perhaps God does work in mysterious ways. Perhaps I am a mysterious way. Perhaps if I repent, I'll be pure and holy, tried and true, because God loves Mama more than he hates me. Or maybe my sky is falling, and this is how a son tears himself in half to keep the moon, his moon, whole. And at the end of the night, Mama comes to my bedroom with her easy after prayer smile. She walks over to my bed. I roll over, sit up, and rest against the headboard. She sits softly, takes my hand in hers, and pulls me close. We are closer than we have ever been. Mama's heart is like music, a calm, steady rhythm. I bite down into my bottom lip to swallow the questions. Can we stay like this? Am I forgiven? Am I cured? But I can't stop myself from trying to remember if the space between Alex and I was this balmy. a word used to describe an irresistible thing that is both pleasantly warm and extremely foolish.
One more time for Tay, everybody. And for Justin and Christine, please let's hear it for them one more time. Again, to people who are just walking in, we have a whole table full of raffle items, and they're pretty flippin' amazing. And we have raffle tickets. Please write your name and your phone number on them. And at the end of this set of music, we'll have the drawing and see who wins, and you can take them home. So please stick around and use this time with music to just move around and meet people and just see what we got, and also just enjoy the music. Yeah, I wanted to thank so many people for doing this. All the people who donated, there have been so many people and organizations and artists. Alex over there and Clark, man the tables. Maya, always, Christian, who is maybe coming in a minute, Daniel, who's here, Ian Lockaby, Avery, Carolina, who's here, Bahima, Henry, and Noelle Lopez. And Noelle Richard, who is outside doing art. Go check out those block prints. And John Alleyne, who was going to be here, but was sick. So thanks to all those people. Let's give them all a round of applause. And of course, I already thanked Chuck, but let's thank Chuck one more time. Cool, I want to introduce the band real quick. Well, really, I just wanted to say that I met Ian, who plays the bass in this band, 5 years ago or so, right when I started to learn how to bind books, and he was the very first person that I showed this book to, and it just felt significant. So here's the band. This is Fumi, Josh, and Ian, everybody, the Ian Monroe Trio.
Sorry, is that really Guido? No, Rich. We would love it to.
That would be correct.
time for the band, everybody. I just wanted to say that we're going to play one more song and then we're going to call the raffle winners. So come stick around and maybe make yourselves seen and known so that we can see who won what. So one more song and then we'll call out the winners, all right?
Lights are really aggressive. Yeah.
I love the game having new experiences. Hi, fans! Hi! Hello, both of you! Hello, Okay.